We're looking at a fast-moving situation because President Trump says the war with Iran may already be nearing its end. And while new reporting suggests that the next phase of the conflict may still be up for debate, President Trump actually told reporters on Monday that the war is pretty much complete, arguing that Iran's Navy, communication systems, and Air Force have been effectively dismantled by U.S. and allied strikes. He's also said that the conflict has, quote, moved very far ahead of schedule. Who talks like that? Even though earlier projections suggested that it could last up to a month.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared
Well, I think
for
you could
this war
say
to
it
last
both.
for?
It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar, they have no telecommunications, and they have no leadership. It's all gone. So, you could look at that statement. We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further. But
okay, we're going to go further. So, kind of not done, I guess, not complete. The president is also defending the decision to launch the campaign in the first place. Trump says the United States acted because Iran was preparing nuclear infrastructure and that intelligence suggested that an attack on the U.S. could have come quickly. He told reporters Iran would have attacked within a week, though administration officials reportedly told congressional staff that these assessments did not indicate an imminent strike. Nevertheless, he decided to trust Jared.
the situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And
he throwing them names. He throwing them names out there, ain't he, Bill?
Peter John and Billy and Ronald and Man and Boo Boo, Billy and Keisha Latrell, Toya and Keisha, about 3 Kims.
Yeah. Another factor, Israel. Trump says the official end of the war will likely be determined in coordination, quote unquote, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In an interview with the Times of Israel, for some reason he's given an interview to the Times of Israel, the president said the decision will be, quote, mutual a little bit, suggesting that both governments will weigh the situation before declaring the war over. He also says that Iran's military capability has been largely dismantled. But, you know, things just seem to change every day, and that's a problem for some Democrats in the House.
This is a disaster of epic proportions. It's already getting Americans killed. It's driving up prices here at home. Harder line leadership, more antithetical to U.S. interests, are strengthening inside Iran. And there's really no way that we're going to be able to destroy their nuclear program because most of it is buried underground unless we mount a ground invasion, which would be even more disastrous and more unpopular. This has just been a debacle, a 10-day debacle. And we're going to use whatever leverage we have in the Senate to try to prompt those hearings, to try to prompt that vote, and to get this administration to start paying attention to the Constitution.
So the Democrats say they're on top of it. The president, though, of course, says the war is pretty much over. But for you personally, and as an American citizen, that's all the power that we have, what has to happen before you actually believe that the war is over? What do you think?
Usually, like, if the president says, like, the war is over, I think, like, okay, well, it's over, because he said it was over. He said they don't got no nuclear system, they don't got no military, they don't got no hospitals, they don't got no teachers, they don't got no doctors, they don't got no, there's nothing there. It's empty, it's a new place. It's like we starting all over. And then they're like, well, no. So now I don't know what I think.
I mean, we talked about this last week, though. Can we believe anything that this administration says when it comes to
Well-
casualties. There was about a report of another 150 people were injured. So it's like, can we believe anything that we're hearing from the administration, or are we just supposed to take it as fact?
Well, I guess if Israel tells us that it's over, it's over. Because he said they're both
That's
gonna.
it. Okay.
He said they're both gonna weigh the options and they'll decide. And we can't listen to you, so I guess we gotta listen to them.
Ty, if troops actually eventually go into Iran, does that mean that the war never actually ended? Because it seems like that's the way we're headed.
First of all, I'd like to go on record saying that nothing that Donald Trump ever says is true.
Okay.
So if he's telling us the war is pretty much over, by pretty much he means we got another 10 years. And by they have nothing, it means they have a lot of stuff and we have not been able to get it.
We are in trouble.
We have nothing to worry about. We should be shitting our pants. And so everything Donald Trump says is a lie, and everything Donald Trump says is the opposite of what's actually happening. And by they had nuclear and they were going to the strike on us was imminent. By imminent, he meant within the next 50 years. And so it was,
because they've been saying that for 50 years.
We needed to strike right now. And by the one thing he did say is true. He and Israel will decide together when the war is over. That part is true.
Yeah.
Well, not quite. Because he won't be deciding. He won't be a part of that decision.
Eric, are you afraid of what's to come, or are you just going to sit back and just put your head down and see how this thing goes?
Man, Donald Trump is cat. Because man, trust me, if we had them under our thumb, they'd be running American troops and Israel troops all through that country. They ain't dumb. They not going. He just talking trash. He trying to show face, save face for real. He ain't stepped foot one. An American person has not stepped 1 foot in that country since this conflict started.
Not yet. Yeah,
they waiting.
They
waiting for some ground troops to come through that country. As bad as Israel want that country, you don't think Israel troops would be all running through that country?
And Eric, when you say they're waiting for them to come, like, are they waiting for them to come to ask to give them their resources back? Like, what exactly are they waiting for?
No, they're waiting for some ground troops to come try to invade their country. That's what they waiting on. They've been said that.
Well, we'll see if that ends up happening. Bill, do you have anything to add? If not, it's cool. We can move. But just want to give you the opportunity.
I got a lot to add, but it's safer if we move.